Freakum, we are back in the studio today, and today we're talking about a really serious subject. We're going to hit the timer before we even start talking, and it's on. Let me do this. It's on. Let me do this. Here we go. 10 minutes. Bang. Boom. What are we talking about today? Wait, let's introduce ourselves. It's the motivational athlete, Lion AR, aka Ali Rashid. We're in the studio, and I'm with my bro, Bearded Mo.
Yo, it's Bearded Mo. Are you impressed I got it right for the first time?
He's got it right today. Let's give him a round of a... No, he don't deserve that. We're talking today about a really serious subject.
Yeah.
Let's tell him what it is.
Yeah, so today we're going to speak about the Uighur Muslims, about what's going on there, and what's exactly happening. So, if you, as you may be aware, there are currently 3 million Muslims, probably even more, in concentration camps in Xinjiang, China. And they're being forced to do things that it should never be happening in the first place, like eating pork, drinking alcohol, and so on. Have you heard much about it yourself?
You know, myself, I've been seeing so much on social media, but the thing is with me, I'm becoming a bit, what's the word I'm looking for, a bit desensitized for the fact that I see so much posts about Muslims being oppressed around the world, so many posts that I've lost track in the sense of what country's doing what. And for that simple reason, it tells me that it's such a big wide scale across the globe. Where is our Muslim leaders? It really appeases me to even look at the news anymore. The Myanmar last year or the year before, when they were putting people in cages and burning the bodies, and subhanAllah, doing some really dire, catastrophic stuff. Yeah, correction. Yo, Bearded Motor's correcting me. But anyway, so because you see this, a lot of it, it's kind of desensitized me, and I feel like now today we should be talking about this because of the fact that what's going on is totally, some people are totally oblivious to it. As in, like, they'll probably just flick it across thinking, oh, it's another Muslim, tragedy, kind of thing, and they just don't pay attention to it. Tell us.
Yeah, so on my Instagram, if you're not following me on Instagram,
Don't follow him.
Bearded Mo.
Don't follow him. He goes on too much. The story's always the same.
No.
I'm joking. Carry on, follow him.
Yeah, so follow me on Instagram, Bearded Mo. And what's your Instagram?
If they don't know, I'm not going to tell him no more. Carry on.
Lani Official.
No, I'm not official.
You are official.
He's official right now.
So so if you follow me, you know that I'll be posting regular stories about what's going on, and some of the videos I'll be like reposting. It's like so disheartening. I don't even want to repost it myself, but sometimes you got to raise awareness because this is only going around social media. It's not coming up on the news or anything like that, which is absolutely disgusting. And the things that's happening there, so Muslim men are being sent to concentration camps. They're forced to eat pork. They're forced to drink alcohol. They're forced to denounce their religion. They're getting brainwashed. They're taking injection pills. You name it. The worst of the worst torture. The women outside who are living outside the concentration camps, they've probably got it worse because they've got not Muslim men. They've got Chinese men, non-Muslims, living with them. They're sleeping with them, they're raping them, the households are forced to have alcohol and pork in it. And the thing is, moving on a little bit now, why isn't there much awareness? Because, for example, the Black Lives Matter, 100% that campaign should have gone how it should have. But why isn't the same campaign going on for the Uighur Muslims? Because this has been going on from 2017. Imagine every single person spoke about it, what could have happened?
The Muslim leaders are fake leaders. End off. They're very weak. They're not strong. They've been put there by the hierarchy that controls all the global political affairs, and that's a different subject altogether. But my point is, the reason why we don't have this outcry is because we are so misconstrued over what's going on. Everyone's disorganized. If we had a couple of strong leaders who would put Islam on the forefront and kind of do right by the Muslim Ummah, which is the Muslim population in whole, that is one body, we would have a better voice amongst the system, and we would have people who would actually stand up for this and kind of put an end to it. We got all the wealth in the world. The Muslims have all the wealth in the world. We're probably one of the richest states in the world when it comes to oil and gold and other commodities. We have leaders in positions that would benefit non-Muslims over Muslims, and that's just not the way it works. Because if you have a leader for the Indian nation, it will benefit the Indian nation over everybody else, because its job is to be like a father, a leader figure. If you have someone in China, like China, right, they will do it best by China. Yeah. If you have it for different nations, different countries, people do the best by their country. When it comes to Muslims, for whatever reason, the way the chess game has been played, they have weak leaders put in position that are probably not even Muslims themselves.
Too many sellouts.
Yeah, too many sellouts, and people know this, and that's why they laugh at the Muslims, because they know that if we were guided correctly and we had the right leadership under the right leader, we would then be a stronger body, and no one could be doing this. Not to forget, to a country of Muslims. You wouldn't get it done to a city of Muslims. Yeah, so that's why it's all this.
So we need to be guided and not divided. And the thing is, right,
that was good. Jeez, do it again. Jeez. Do it again.
So we need to be guided, not
divided.
Jeez. Anyway, so for example, there was this thing going around that Imran Khan has written on the passports that
3 minutes ago
has put on the passports that Israel will not be recognised as a country. But the thing is, that's just a front, because to us, those people who are not really into stuff like this, they'll be like, wow, Imran Khan did an amazing job, and yeah, that is amazing, but why is he not doing this to China? Why is he still doing deals with China? Why not just stop the supply and demand there with China? Because it could do so much more than just writing on a passport, we don't consider them as a country. And just imagine, you're living in China right now, and this is your family. You're forced to do all this stuff, and even on your phone, you're forced to have an app, which is like a spyware app, which basically tracks every single movement of yours. You can't even walk past a mosque because of the face recognition. They're under so much pressure.
Adding to that, they have to have pork and wine in their house, alcohol, and they get checked upon every 2 or 3 days randomly.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much going on that takes them out the folds of Islam, not for the believers, because for a fact they're going to do right by whatever their pressure they're under. They have to stick to whatever's around them. But I'm saying, as a country, look at the way they're trying to push non-Islam down a Muslim's throat. It's wrong. It's out of order. I don't condone that. It's like if it was a Sikh, for example, and they were getting oppressed, I would hate for the oppressor to oppress them. If it was happening to a Christian, I would hate the oppressor who oppresses them, or even to the Jew, because let them practice what they want to practice. Why is it now that all of a sudden Islam becomes this massive threat that stopped them from practicing? Insecurities and everything else, there's a long list. But quickly touch up on anti-Semitism. When this happened to the Jews, you know, it's actually legally binding that you can't say anything against anything Semitic, which is called anti-Semitic. Otherwise you can get legally, you know, criminalized for it. Where is it about Islam? You know, why isn't there something called anti-Islamitic or something? You know what I mean?
The thing is, when you speak about the Jews, it's called anti-Semitism. When you speak about the Muslims, it's called freedom of speech.
And it just don't work like that. We've got 1 minute and 20 to go.
What was going on last year? Did you say 2 years ago about the Muslim training? Yeah.
Right. There was camps going on in Myanmar where they were making cages and keeping their heads above the waterline. They were made to live underwater, almost just a heads up, and getting fed by fishes being chucked at them and stuff. And then after a little while, they'll go out that concentration camp and get burned in the villages. So they're waiting to get burned. And subhanAllah, man, it's like when you see these videos, this is why I stopped looking at this stuff, because for the simple fact that I can't help them by looking at the video. I wish I was there in person.
When you watch it as well.
If I was there in person and I seen one of these guys do something like that, to forget if it was a Muslim or anybody else, if I'm walking down the street and I see someone do something like that, I'll pull them away. Imagine if they're doing that in front of you. You'd want to give them what's the country called that's doing it now? Han Xing Xing Sha?
Xinjiang in China.
I'd give them a Xing Sha Shi, and they would never ever touch another Muslim again. But you know, it's just really bad. What can we do? We've got 20 seconds to raise awareness.
I was just going to say, so obviously we as a population, all we can really do now is just speak about it, raise awareness, and there's currently a petition going on. I think there's currently over 2 million people that have signed it. We'll put a petition in the description below. Please take out a minute of your time and just sign it, because it could be so much, you know, help to them.
You know, the other thing you can do is we can make dua. We know that that's a power, because nothing moves unless the power of dua comes in effect. And you know, at the end of the day, we've got to call out to Allah to help us. But the main thing you got to understand is, when you see something, the hadith is, if you can stop it with your hand, stop it.
Yes.
If you can't stop it with your hand, say it with speech. If you can't say it with speech, then hate it in your heart, and that's the lowest of Iman. What we can do is like talk about this, like Mo said, that's the middle ground. So we can raise awareness, tell people, look, this is what's going on. Education. Education is power, not muscles. Education is power. So we need to educate and make sure, like, up until like the last week, I didn't really know much about this because I was thinking this is just another thing going on with the Muslims, and it's just all politically orientated, which it mostly is. But now that I know about the depth of, having pork in the house and wine and being monitored and 4 or 5 guys living with one Muslim woman, raping her and doing all kinds of nastiness, we got to understand that we got to feel the pain in the heart, and we got to speak about this, because at the end of the day, it don't make you, and don't feel scared for saying I can't speak about this, because then you're just a muppet, aka puppet.
Can I just quickly say something? What's really, really frustrating? First of all, if these were non-Muslims as well, we would still speak up.
I would still.
This is human rights. But one thing I really want to quickly touch up on, right, just before we look.
He's dragging it now. It's him.
No, just quickly. If you're a social influencer, if you've got Instagram, you've got a decent following, please raise awareness, because there's too many fakes out there that want to please their following. They don't want to come across too political. They don't want to come across like, oh, look at him, he's too Muslimic. It's not about that. It's about raising awareness. So please, if you've got a bit of a following, just raise awareness.
Even if you got 100 following, even if you got 1,000 following, it don't matter. You all can't have big following like him, like 10,000, whatever.
10,000. Wow. What?
We all can't be like that. But what I'm saying is, every voice matters.
That's it.
Every post matters. Keep posting, keep talking about this. And if you like what you see and you heard, make a comment down below. Engage, pass this on. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, don't subscribe. Just keep watching.
Drop a like on this video as well, and share it with your friends and family.
I know it's a bit serious, but don't have nightmares. Freaker!
Peace.